Okay, this is going to be a demonstration of how to go about doing this discussion. So the first thing you need to do is find an argument. So one place that I like to look for arguments is our podcasts. And so I have a link here, and I'll provide this document to you, but a link here that is to the New York Times daily podcast. And recently, there was a podcast about a very controversial police training facility that is being built in Atlanta, and it's caused a lot of protest and increasingly aggressive tactics, and it has led to one person's death. So it's very controversial and in the news. In this podcast, this is appropriate for this assignment because the New York Times reporter who is being interviewed provides kind of the basic arguments for and against the facility. And you're only required to provide one argument in standard form, but I'm going to go ahead and do two of these. So you're welcome to follow the link and follow up on this issue. But let's first consider the argument for what is being called Cop City. Okay, pro Cop City. What Cop City is a huge training facility for police where they essentially mock up a town and create firing ranges and places where police can go through various simulations. It's controversial because it's huge. It's a lot of money, including a lot of taxpayer money, and it's being placed in a forested area, and so it will involve some clear cutting, and so there's a kind of environmental concerns associated with the project. But let's first look at the pro-Cop City argument. So one key reason that this project has been proposed is that there has been a surge in violent crime in Atlanta since the pandemic, and this is a national trend. So we could put that down as a reason for building Cop City. Okay, there's been and related to that, current train those facilities. So this would be an improvement. All right. And then a further reason is this would be one of the largest facilities of its kind in the United States, and police departments in other parts of the country will use it as a training facility, and they'll have to pay for using it. So it's also could be a big money maker for the state. Okay, so Cop City will, in support of the controversial claim that Cop City should be built. And this is essentially the city's argument, because despite protests and unpopularity among many, not all, but among many, they are going forward with the plan to build this large facility. Okay, so this would be a good example of a standard form argument that takes a position that was gleaned from a media source. All right. But I'm going to show you the counter argument as well. You don't have to present two arguments, you just have to present one. But one thing I'll note is that to be in standard form, you need marked premises and a marked conclusion, and each premise should be one sentence long, and it's the kind of claim that is true or false. Okay, so each one of these premises is one sentence, and each one has truth value, meaning each one is a true or false claim. Okay, let's go to a counter argument now. And the argument made by protesters is one that the resources put into Cop City, okay, this is a controversial premise, but the claim is that the Cop City promotes further militarization of police, which can lead to more unsafe conditions. Okay, so I'm going to actually include that as a second premise, which kind of works together with premise one. But Cop City will promote further I think the focus is on all abuses of power that have been in the public consciousness regarding police. Okay, another key argument is the environmental argument. The forest that it's moving into is, they say in the podcast, is considered the lungs of Georgia. It's a massive forest, and the trees, of course, collect CO2, and this will just exacerbate climate change and reduce the amount of tree canopy and forest that exists in Atlanta, Georgia, the United States, the world, and that just upsets environmentalists. For Cop City will exist, and all these reasons would support the conclusion that Cop City should not be built. Okay, so this would also work for the discussion. It includes, again, a standard form argument. Each premise is one sentence that is either true or false, and they each provide support for a marked conclusion, which is the controversial claim that arguers are trying to convince others of.